Greetings, my fellow eagles and the entire world. This is Eagle Emmanuel Manson with inspirations and guidance from Eagle Helen Manson in the unseen world, coming into your homes and your minds with a message of empowerment and enlightenment. Today is the 10th of September in the year 2024, and the Bible says this is the day the Lord has made. And for that matter, we should rejoice and be glad in it. And so I take this opportunity to invite the whole world to join me to give thanks to God for the day that He has granted unto us. And life in general, life is beautiful, life is wonderful, life is glorious. Life is God Himself, flowing through all things, including mankind. Today, I'm going to speak to you on the topic, there is absolute exuberance in self-discovery. I repeat, there is absolute exuberance in self-discovery. The human being is nothing but a matter of discovering him or herself. We are always evolving, and our evolution is by discovering what we are, what we can do. And so, if you look at children, we can look at this situation from taking a look at children. Every child, whenever they learn something, they become so excited, and that is the only thing that they want to do. Why? Because at that time, the baby is not learning to do things, but he or she is only discovering him or herself, the ability, the possibility, the potential that he or she possesses. And therefore, when he or she stumbles upon one thing and he does it and he does it perfectly, he becomes so happy, and so he always wants to do it. You see, and that is how all of us came. That exuberance. You will see that young men or children, they are full of exuberance. And you can observe this when you go to public places. When people with children arrive, the kind of excitement they run about, the things they want to try, even things that their parents are preventing them from doing, that is what they want to do. Why? Because they see all this as opportunity to discover themselves, to try something different in order to discover that thing, and they will be so wonderful with it after they've done it. Every one of us came through this. And so you are not already made, but you are every day discovering yourself. There are tons of things lying within you that you can do, but until you take attempt or you make attempt, until you try, you will never discover as to whether you can do it or not. But children and the younger people don't have the concept of being careful, and therefore they do these things willingly, and that is actually our natural state. To discover yourself. To discover yourself is to unearth all that lies within you. What you can do and what you can be has no limit, as a matter of fact. The only thing that makes it appear that you have limitation, there are limits to what you can do and be, is the false belief that you've been indoctrinated with. And so self-discovery is the essence of our living. You are supposed to discover yourself. No one can recommend what you can do best for you. No one can tell you to do what you think you can do best. But you are the only person that can tell what you can do best. But until you try it, you will never know. You see? And the idea of trying and failing, and therefore we are so cautious that we don't want to try and fail, is the number one thing that has buried men and women's ability, or men and women live on earth here and depart without actually even touching the surface of what they came with. We are here to explore. And as I use children learn or children discover themselves. by trying things repeatedly. And so the child that is learning how to sit, with the support of the parent, we support them to find their balance. You are not teaching them, but you are not helping them to discover what they can do. It's innate. To sit is something that is innate in you. It's a quality that you've been born with. So parents don't teach children to sit, but we only support them to discover the ability to sit. And therefore, when they discover it, they don't even want to sit. They don't want to lie at their back, but they want to sit because they've discovered themselves in that particular area. And then when it comes to walking, we don't teach children how to walk, but we support them to discover their ability to walk. And that is self-discovery. And as soon as they discover that this is my natural state, and therefore it is how I'm supposed to be, then they take over. And therefore they run around. A child that has learned or has discovered how to walk, how to run, they do all these things with flair. They do all these things with strength, exuberance, because it is something that is urging them to do that. You see, so it is inside you. And that is how it is. And even when the children walk and they begin to grow, things that parents are afraid to do, young men and women will take it and do it easily. Why? Because they are discovering themselves, discovering what they can do, the power that they have, the ability that they have. And when they discover that, they always want to put it in the good use. And this is how every human being is supposed to operate. That is how we're supposed to operate. Now, when you grow up to a point, then we've been indoctrinated, or we are normally indoctrinated that because of your age, because of this, you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, if I do this and this happens. And therefore, gradually, we begin to doubt. We begin to kill these innate qualities that are springing out of us. And therefore, we bury what we are supposed to do here. But a man or woman, regardless of your age, or regardless the age of the person, that discovers something that is so new to him, and he knows that he can do it, will always have that exuberance. It doesn't matter your age. You will rise up and do it because there is power in discovering yourself. That means you are discovering yourself, things that are within you. You see, and so there is powerful or absolute exuberance in self-discovery. And as I said, there are so many things that are lying dormant within you that you can do and do even better than those that we call the celebrities in those areas. But you have already convinced yourself that you cannot do it. And therefore, you don't know yourself. You don't know yourself. But until you try it, you will not discover what you have within you. That is self-discovery. You see, and so we all started with this, but as we grow, then we bury it. Or we bury all these things, abilities that we're supposed to demonstrate. You see, so a human being is simply carrying the power of God, the power that made or created heaven and earth, everything in this world. And this force is always seeking higher expression. This force has no age. It doesn't respect age. It doesn't respect gender. It doesn't respect who you are, the tribe, the race, whatever. So long as you are ready to adapt and open yourself for this power, it will take you and move you to do all other things that you want to do, or that is seeking to come out of you. And so we say, God is always seeking higher expression through human beings. The force, the presence, the power, the energy that moves and animates us is always seeking higher expressions through us. And so the difference between adults and children, young men, in terms of exuberance, is not because the age. It's not because of the age, but it's because of the adoption of false beliefs. Children don't have those concepts. They haven't actually bought into those kind of theories that we have. And therefore, they go freely, even if they get hurt. If they fall and they get hurt, as soon as they get healed, they go back to do it. But as an adult, You don't want to do that because you are afraid. And so fear is the number one thing that kills us. So we kill ourselves, we kill our dreams, we kill our potentials and possibilities by not knowing that we ought to discover yourself. We ought to discover ourselves. And so the way to discover yourself is to allow the presence of God to flow through you, to think in alignment with the thinking pattern of God. And as you do that, you will get exceptional exuberance. Have you ever asked yourself why, when someone teaches you to do something and you go ahead to do it, you don't normally become so happy as compared to when you yourself figure that thing out and do it yourself? If you have a problem, you have a puzzle that you want to understand or you want to solve, if you are able to use your own efforts, thinking, and unravel it and actually solve the problem, the excitement that you get is better and more than the one that you call someone to come in to help you. Because in that case, you have not allowed yourself to be discovered. And since you haven't discovered yourself, there is no exuberance, there is no excitement in that. And so we know in history that there was a man called Archimedes when he was trying to discover his principle. He thought of it severally, but he tried every aspect, every method, every means. But it was one day when he stepped into her bathtub that he discovered that. And so he came out even naked and then started shouting, "I have discovered it. Eureka, Eureka. I have found it," you see. And that is how every human being we are at your age, regardless, whether you are 50, 60, 70, you can play soccer, you can play basketball, regardless, if you have the ability to think and go in that direction. Or not even this kind of things, but you can do other things that at your age you will be more successful and powerful than even when you were younger. Because the exuberance in discovering yourself will be more powerful. There are other things, there are a lot of things lying within you that you cannot know that you can do except you try. And if you don't try and fail, you will never discover. And that is why in one of my episodes, I actually spoke about the positive value or the economic value of our errors, you see. And so you are supposed to discover yourself here, but you're not supposed to learn things. Things that we learn doesn't give us exuberance. Things that we learn doesn't give us any kind of excitement. But when you discover things for yourself from within you, and you begin to realize that, I have the power and ability to do this, there is always that energy pushing out of you and pushing you to go forward and do it. And that is how it is. So when you see the younger men and women doing things and doing all these things wonderfully and beautifully, it is not because they are young necessarily, but it is because they are always discovering themselves. And so it is with you as an adult. You must always seek, you must always go on the journey of discovering yourself, going deep within you, allowing everything that is in you come out of you. And then you go on to do it. And how do you discover yourself? How do you discover these things from out in you? All that you have to do is to align yourself with the mind of God. Then you will receive ideas, you receive impulse, you receive edges, hunches, or sometimes intuitions. You see, and the interesting thing about this situation is that most of the things that will come to you will look so awkward in the minds of people. Most people will tell you that it is practically impossible for you to do this at your age, for you to do this because of where you were born, because of whom you were born to, because of this and that and that. But if you negate everything that any other person is telling you and you go ahead and try that one, even if you fail and you don't quit, you will discover something extraordinary that those who actually try to discourage you will come to support you, will come to tell you that, oh, we didn't know that. Oh, this is extraordinary. This is history making, you say. And so every one of us has no limitation. That potentials and possibilities lying in us are limitless. And it is only when we open ourselves and we are ready to take the right action, to act at the right time, and to act upon the right impulses, the right edges, and go ahead in faith and determination, then that we will keep on discovering ourselves. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter where you are. Whatever you fix your mind on and seek it diligently, you can achieve it. It doesn't matter the number of times you try and fail. It doesn't matter how long it will take. So long as you are fixated on that thing, you will achieve it. And so the word fixation is a word that is very important in deliberate creation. You think deliberately, and therefore let people tell you that you are fixated. Let people tell you that you are delusional. Let people tell you that and this and that. But if you only listen to your inner urges, the impulses that you are getting from inside, you will silence them sooner than later. I'm telling you, you will silence them sooner than later. And so, what you need to seek is the exuberance that you get from discovering yourself. And that is you following your impulse and urges. And when you try it and you discover it, it brings you a level of excitement that no word can discover. And that is what they wrote about Archimedes, that bursting out of his bathroom and coming out nakedly, announcing his discovery to people, to the world. You see, every one of us in our area, we can discover. There are more and more and more greater things that are supposed to come to the world. Many of them are coming to you. But if you compare them to the new things, if you compare them to the new ideas or the existing ideas, the concept, the beliefs that people hold, you will look so stupid in your eyes. And therefore, you are killing it. You don't want to come out. That is a fact. But if you do that, that means you will never discover yourself. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you can do. You don't know what you possess. You are like a dynamite that can explode, but you must activate this dynamite for it to explode. There is nothing that you cannot achieve. There is nothing that you cannot be. There is nothing that you cannot be. And as I've always been saying, there is nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. Even though this statement looks offensive to most people, and it looks impossible, but it's a fact. It's a fact. If you can believe, if you can conceive and believe, you achieve it. But your conception must come from you aligning yourself with your higher self. And then allowing your higher self to lead you, guide you. You'll get these edges, impulses, hunches. Follow them. Even if it is you are supposed to go to them, then your number one enemy for a particular thing, go. If you are to do whatever thing that looks extraordinary, stupid in the eyes of men, go and do it and look stupid. But as you do it at the right time, the force, the power, the energy that animates you will bring everything to pass. And by the work of the law of attraction, you'll be matched with the right people. You'll be matched with the right, you'll be led into the right circumstances. And everything, that picture will come out and men and women will celebrate. That is a fact. And so, you are a powerful human being. You are an explosive. There are a lot of things that are lying within you, seeking expression to come out. But you need to be on the mind. You need to be in the mind frame or mindset of you discovering yourself, discovering what is within you. And therefore, the way to discover yourself is to accept and welcome the weird and impossible ideas that comes to you. And when you take them and you move forward in determination and faith, the presence, the force that gives you, that is seeking higher expression through you, will take you to higher places. And you'll be exactly like the children that when they begin, when they learn, when they discover their ability to run, ability to walk, they do it efficiently with excitement. The energy is boiling, the energy is coming out of them. Why? Because by then they have direct contact with their source, and therefore there is always positive and positive energy flowing through them, pure and positive energy flowing through them. But sometimes we try to even discourage them. We quench them. We say, oh, these children are this and that and that, and therefore we kill their exuberance. We don't have to do that again. Don't do that to your children, but encourage them. Support them as in the same way as you supported them to discover their ability to sit, their ability to work, to walk, their ability to run. Support them in all areas. Some of them will come with you with weird ideas that are perceptions that does not match the current one. Yes, they are they are new people, young men and women coming into the world to change the world. So support them and let them be. And with that, we will create a world that is beautiful, that is full of men and women who discovers themselves and share what is in themselves with the world. That is my message for you. Now, may the overshadowing presence of God that keeps the stars in the open, such that they do not fall on us, that keeps the planets in their orbit, such that they do not clash with one another, lead and guide you, direct you, such that you become awakened to this truth. You'll be empowered to begin to seek whatever thing that is lying within you. There is no limit of what you can achieve. There is no limit to what you can be. There is no limit to what you can have. But it is on the condition that you will listen. You will think deliberately. Listen to your inner urges. Listen to your impulses. Follow your urges and take the right actions. And it will be like you connecting dots to dots. And one thing leads to the other. One thing leads to the other. And by the time you realize, the whole dream has been revealed, manifested before the minds and the eyes of men. Thank you, and God bless you.